So, IFAB, the body that is responsible for making the laws in football, met over the weekend to propose some rule changes to football. And a lot of these rules are aimed at reducing time wasting and making sure that the ball stays on the pitch and most of the 90 minutes is actually spent playing the ball. One of the most notable ones is that 8-second rule that goalkeepers usually have now, that they have to release the ball within 8 seconds, otherwise they concede a corner kick. It has now been extended to goal kicks as well. So, which means if the goalkeeper wants to take a goal kick, he has to set the ball and take the kick within 8 seconds. And then it also applies to teams taking a throw in. So any team that wants to take a throw in now has 10 seconds to take that throw in. But the thing is that this particular throwing part of it is still subjective because it is the referee that decides when he wants to start counting the 10 seconds from. I think one of the effects that we're going to see is in the Premier League where long throws are 18 now. Imagine like Brentford wants to take a throw in, and Michael Kayode is the one who takes throw in for Brentford. He's a left back. So which means if they have a throw-in in the number 7 position, for instance, that part of the pitch, Michael Kayode has to move from his left back position, travel across the pitch to go and take the throw-in. So when would the referee start counting the 10 seconds from? Is it from when he gets there and picks up the ball and starts using his claws to clean the ball to throw it? Or if that is the case, what if Michael Kayode decides to start walking slowly or jogging slowly from his left back position to the number 7 position to take the throw-in? So again, there is a bit of subjectivity in that, since it's the referee that decides when he will start counting the 10 seconds from. But the general principle is that the referee will start counting the 10 seconds when he feels that there is deliberate time wasting from the team. That's when he feels like, or that deliberate time wasting is where the subjectivity will now come in again. But overall, I still support the rule. And then the one that I wholeheartedly support is the 10-second rule for substitution. So now, every substitution must take place within 10 seconds. As soon as your name comes up on the board to be taken out of the pitch, the player must leave the pitch at the nearest exit. So if you are standing beside your goalkeeper, you just need to go to the back of the goal and leave the pitch from that end. You don't have to run across to come and shake hands with your teammates coming in. Now, the punishment is this. Once the number is up, the referee starts the countdown of 10 seconds. If the player to be substituted does not leave the pitch within that 10 seconds, maybe he's trying to run from one end of the pitch to another when he could have used the nearest exit just to waste time, what will happen is that player will eventually still leave the pitch, but the player that they want to bring on will not be allowed to enter the pitch. The player would have to go back and wait until the ball goes out of play again. So which means if it's your opponent that is taking a throw-in, for instance, and you refuse to leave the pitch within 10 seconds, you will eventually still leave, but your teammate that is coming in cannot come in. The teammate will have to wait, allow the opposition to take the throw-in, and play will continue until play naturally stops again. Maybe there's another corner kick, goal kick, or throw-in, or the referee blows for a foul. Until then, that substitute cannot enter. So which means if you don't run out of the pitch within that 10 seconds, your team is going to play with 10 men for a little while before the substitute will be able to enter. So I think, in a way, it's going to reduce time wasting on substitutions. We know that coaches used to do it. Like when you are leading the game with like 2 or 3 minutes to go, you just bring on one 18-year-old. The only purpose of that substitution is to waste time, to kill vital seconds from the game, nothing else. So maybe this will put an end to that. Then another strategy to beat time wasting again is with treatment. So if a player goes down now, injured, and physios have to come on to treat that player, if that treatment lasts for more than 15 seconds, that player must leave the pitch and then spend 1 minute outside the pitch before coming back again to rejoin play. So it's straightforward. If somebody touches you a little bit and you jump to the floor and feign injury, and the physios have to come and treat you, they spend 15 seconds on the pitch. Once they leave, that player, you will follow them outside, waits in the pitch for, currently, it's 10 seconds that the person has to wait before coming back. But under the new law now, they will wait 1 full minute before they can come back. The only exception to that rule is that the player who went injured, somebody fouled you, and that foul was a yellow card for the player who committed the foul. In that case, it can be seen that there was a genuinely reckless challenge and there was a genuine injury. So that rule will not apply in that case if the foul that led to that injury resulted in a yellow card for the other player. But again, it will not still be up to the referee whether the referee gives a yellow card to that player, because I have seen tackles that I thought would have ended a yellow card that the referee ended up not giving a yellow card. My other issue with this particular rule is what happens to accidental tackles that are dangerous but not yellow card tackles. For instance, you step on somebody's foot by mistake and it's not a yellow card because it's a mistake. Everybody can see that it's a mistake. But still, that foot hurts, so the player will go down and take treatment. You're not punishing that player now for a genuine injury. I don't know how they want to work this out, but I'm just looking at the positive and the negative part of it. And then there are changes to VAR as well. VAR will now be looking at second yellow cards. that leads to red card as well. And then VAR, most importantly, will now be looking at wrongly awarded corner kicks. But it's good on one hand in that it makes the game fairer so that you would not concede unnecessary corner kicks that Arsenal will score from. But the downside to it now is that if VAR is now reviewing every corner kick awarded, it therefore means that the time wasting that we're trying to get rid of, VAR checks will now take more time. They have to check every corner kick because most corner kicks is not really always clear cut who touched the ball last. In a game, you can have 2 or 3 of those that is not clear either way who touched the ball last. And if VAR intervention, in my opinion, simply means that we are going to be having longer checks with VAR. But I mean, what is your opinion on any of these rules? How do you feel about these rules? Do you think is there any particular one you think is not workable, or what are the negative and the positive of these rules? Let's have that conversation.